There's a moment most women don't talk about, but almost every woman who has loved deeply knows it. It's late at night, the house is quiet, your phone is in your hand. You tell yourself you're not going to do it tonight. You've been strong all day, you went to work, you ran your errands, you laughed at something on TV, you cooked dinner, you even felt a little bit of peace today. And then, somehow, without even thinking, your fingers are already typing his name into the search bar. You don't even realize you're doing it until his profile pops up. And in that moment, your heart starts beating just a little bit faster. Your stomach tightens, your chest feels heavy, because you don't actually want to see anything, but you feel like you need to see everything. So you scroll. You look at his profile picture. You check if he added new friends. You look for new likes. You check if there's a new woman. You read into every quote, every song lyric, every post, every comment. You become a detective in a story that is no longer yours. And when you're done, you don't feel better. You feel worse. You feel like you just reopened a wound that was trying to close. You feel like you just broke your own heart. Again. And then the worst part comes. You get mad at yourself. You say, why am I still doing this? Why can't I just stop? Why do I care? Why does this still have a hold on me? But what you don't realize is this. You're not checking his social media because you're weak. You're checking because a part of you is still trying to understand how a story that meant so much to you ended like it meant nothing to him. You're not just looking at pictures. You're looking for answers. You're looking for signs. You're looking for proof that it mattered. You're looking for proof that you mattered. But social media will never give you closure. It only gives you crumbs. And crumbs keep you hungry. Every time you check his page, it's like picking a scab. It might feel relieving for a second, but you are slowing down your own healing. You think you're checking on him, but really, you're abandoning yourself. Because every time you go looking for him, you are leaving yourself alone in the healing process. And healing requires your presence, not your absence. There is a harsh truth that most people won't tell you, but I will tell you because I want you to heal for real, not just pretend to heal. You cannot heal from someone you are still watching. You cannot detach from someone you are still studying. You cannot move forward while secretly keeping tabs on someone who is walking away. Every time you check his social media, you are reopening a door that God, life, and reality have already closed. And the reason it hurts so much when you see something is not because of what you saw. It's because deep down, a part of you still hopes to see something that will make it all make sense. Maybe you hope to see that he's miserable. Maybe you hope to see that he misses you. Maybe you hope to see that he posted a sad quote. Maybe you hope to see that he hasn't moved on. Maybe you hope to see that no one else is there. But what if I told you that none of that actually matters? Because closure doesn't come from watching someone else's life. Closure comes from deciding that you deserve a life of your own. At some point, healing requires a decision. Not a feeling, a decision. A decision that says, I may not understand everything. I may not like how this ended. I may still love him. But I love myself more. And that is the turning point in every woman's healing story. The moment she stops choosing pain and starts choosing peace. Let me explain something that will change the way you see this completely. Every time you check his social media, you are reinforcing an emotional attachment in your brain. You are literally training your mind to stay connected to him. You are keeping the bond alive. You are keeping the addiction alive. Because that's what this is. It's not just curiosity. It's not just boredom. It's not just habit. It's withdrawal. Love, especially painful love, creates chemical bonds in your brain. Dopamine, oxytocin, attachment, routine, emotional dependency. When the relationship ends, your body and mind go into withdrawal just like it would from any addiction. So when you check his page and see something, anything, your brain gets a tiny hit. Even if it hurts, it still feeds the attachment. It still keeps the connection alive. Which means every time you check, you start the healing clock over. You are not crazy for struggling with this. You are human. But healing begins when you understand this one powerful truth. You don't actually miss checking his social media. You miss the version of you that existed when you thought you were loved, chosen, and safe. Read that again in your spirit. Because that is the real loss. It's not just the man. It's the life you thought you were going to have. It's the future you pictured. It's the version of you that felt secure. It's the version of you that felt chosen. So when you check his page, you're not just looking for him. You're looking for the life you thought you were going to live. And that is why it's so hard to stop. But here is the part that will set you free if you really understand it. You are not going to find your future in his updates. Your life is not on his profile. Your happiness is not in his relationship status. Your worth is not in whether he moved on. Your peace is not in his pictures. Your destiny is not in his comments section. Your life is in front of you. But you keep looking behind you. At some point, you have to ask yourself a very real question. How long am I going to keep hurting myself over someone who is not even trying to heal me? Because that's what this is, self-inflicted heartbreak. And I don't say that to make you feel bad. I say that because I want you to see how much power you actually have in this situation. You may not have had the power to make him love you right. You may not have had the power to make him stay. You may not have had the power to make him choose you. But you do have the power to stop choosing pain. And sometimes healing looks like something very simple, but very powerful. Blocking, muting, unfollowing, deleting, removing access. Not because you hate him, not because you're bitter, not because you're immature, but because you are trying to save your own heart. People think no contact is about punishment. No contact is about protection. You are not blocking him to control his life. You are blocking him to take control of yours. Because you cannot heal in a place where you keep reopening your own wounds. There is a version of you, I want you to really picture her. There is a version of you who no longer checks his social media. Not because she is forcing herself not to, but because she no longer cares what she might find. She wakes up and her mind is on her life, her goals, her peace, her home, her future, her joy, her purpose, her healing, her money, her travels, her happiness, her relationship with God, her growth. She is not free because he came back. She is free because she moved on. And moving on is not a location. It is a decision you make over and over and over again, until one day it no longer hurts to make it. So how do you stop checking his social media? You don't just stop by using willpower. You stop by replacing the habit. Every time you feel the urge to check his page, that is not a social media urge. That is an emotional trigger. Something made you feel lonely, rejected, bored, curious, hurt, nostalgic, or anxious. So instead of reaching for your phone to check on him, you have to start reaching for things that build you. When you want to check his page, you journal instead. Go for a walk instead. Listen to a sermon instead. Watch something that makes you laugh instead. Work on your business instead. Clean your home instead. Plan your future instead. Pray instead. Write your feelings instead of stalking his life. Build a life so full that you don't have time to watch someone who is not in it. Because the goal is not just to stop checking his social media. The goal is to build a life that makes you forget to. One day, you will realize you haven't checked in weeks, then months. Then one day someone will bring his name up and your heart will not drop. Your stomach will not turn. Your hands will not shake. You will not feel the urge to go look. And that is when you will realize you are free. Not because time passed, but because you chose yourself long enough for the attachment to break. So if you are in that stage right now where you keep checking, keep looking, keep hurting your own feelings, I want you to hear me very clearly. You are not crazy. You are not pathetic. You are not weak. You are grieving. You are detoxing. You are healing. You are learning how to live without someone you thought you couldn't live without. But do not let social media turn your healing into a life sentence. Do not sit in a digital window watching someone else live a life that no longer includes you while your own life is waiting for you to show up. There is a beautiful, peaceful, healed, happy version of you on the other side of this habit. But she only appears when you stop visiting places that reopen wounds. So tonight, when the house is quiet and your phone is in your hand and you feel the urge to type his name, I want you to pause and ask yourself one question. What am I really looking for? And whatever the answer is, love, closure, reassurance, understanding, comfort, I want you to give that to yourself instead. Because the day you stop checking his social media is the day you start checking back into your own life. And that is where your power is. If this video spoke to you, this is your sign to start choosing your peace over your past. You don't have to keep reopening wounds just to feel connected to someone who is no longer choosing you. If you're healing, if you're trying to let go, if you're trying to rebuild your life and your self-worth, this channel is for you. Subscribe to Simply Chanel for videos every week about healing, self-worth, peace, and becoming the woman you were always meant to be. And if no one told you today, you are going to be okay. But you have to choose yourself first. Thanks for watching.